Our third community replay cast for today. It is MLP Dota, joined by John X5. John, how the hell you doing?
I'm feeling good, Mike. I had some lunch, my first meal of the day. Always start the day with a good lunch, not breakfast. Who needs breakfast?
Yeah, I know. I was waiting to see how long it took you to realize that the Wind Ranger was.
Yeah. And of course, the Wind Ranger's Russian too.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
Cyrillic, you know. This will never get old. This will never get old to me, Mike.
No, it won't. For anyone wondering why John's laughing so much, it's because the we saw this before with the Wind Ranger being glitched out in replays, and she runs really funny to say the least. And well, she's doing it again, so I suppose we'll have to sit here and enjoy ourselves and amuse ourselves with this my goodness, Wind Ranger, John, not Witch Doctor.
Witch Doctor. It's a grill, Mike. Witch Doctor is a purple naked man,
Ah, oh good, John.
just like my uncle.
Oh my. Well, it looks like the Radiant and Dio will both be aggressive towards those bounty runes, of course, and they will get two each by the looks of it. In fact, yeah, no, they will they? Yes, they will.
Yeah.
XD chasing Pelephant right now, but they will back off. John, I'd hate to bring this up so early, but there's a damn Tinker in the game. You know how I feel about this hero. I get very upset.
Yeah, oh no, it's upsetting to everyone that plays these games, Mike. I find that as you go up, it gets even more unacceptable to pick Tinker. At least based with my friends I stack with. The higher average people just tend to really once that Tinker's out, they just really try to shit on his lane. Like absolutely go up there, pants down, and just take a huge steaming dump on him.
But fair enough, John. Top lane, we've got to watch out for that one as well. It is a dual lane versus a tri lane. XD on the Pudge right now, trying to get Shark, and they're standing right next to each other, little they know, and Shark will find him. Although now he gets Burrow striked up. Can they get a hook out? He is only level 1, so he has the level 1 rot, and they won't be able to commit any further. It's one of those things about an early game Pudge like this. Level 1, if you can't run in and get the rot off, and you're going nowhere. You're doing nothing for the team. And even if you do get the rod off at level 1, it's not that big of a slow. It's only 11%, which may mean you won't find anything anyway. Looks like he will get lifted back. Meanwhile, mid lane, there was a gank and a first blood going to the way of the Tinker. In fact, John, there wasn't even a gank. He just got a solo kill. We did end up missing that, though. But that is exceptionally bad news for anyone that, doesn't like Tinker like myself. And Tapetar will have a good time with that.
Yeah, it's really not the kind of start you want to give a Tinker. And Tinker as a hero is usually not the strongest laner. If he does go for a strong laning presence build, it slows down his farm. So when he goes for this laser rocket build, you kind of want to make sure he doesn't get kills. And maybe actually just rotate a couple of supports. But the supports on the Radiant side are a bit too low level for that. Pudge at level 2 is not great roaming here. He wants to be level 3 before he can land some really decently ranged hooks.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, that is one of the problems we spoke about before with early game Pudges. They just can't do anything. Not anymore anyway, once Rot was nerfed so badly. But nevertheless, he is level 2, getting closer and closer to level 3. Problem is, while all that's happening, Zijad, or Zijad, however you pronounce that name, he is continuing to free farm on the Tinker, which is very good news for the side of the Dire. Looks like Shark may get caught out here. The hook does connect top lane, and they will get the Burrow Strike. Shark will end up going down, and now Pelephant going to try and find a return kill. There are zombies chasing as well, but I don't see them finding this. In fact, maybe they will. XD. He's been left alone. He's still making a run for it. Those zombies are chasing to the ends of the earth, although Karpu is slowing them down. He will get the decay off and find the last hit. And that will be 1-2 to the side of the Dire, so they do end up essentially probably winning that engagement that they just had. And, well, things will continue on the good path for them.
Yeah, it's definitely a pretty good start for the Dire side. They're getting a bit more from their lanes. The one thing they're losing out on is that Jug is I want to say Jug is free farming. He's not actually getting that many last hits.
Well, they are going to go into Zijad right now, and with the Burrow Strike, they will find that Tinker kill. That, as you mentioned before, is rather important to grab. So a nice pick off on him. It's not also so often that you see a Skywrath Mage being played in the mid lane anymore. It is there, so I don't know how this will really go in the later stages of the game. Do you really think it's worth putting him in the mid lane? In fact, hold that thought, because they are going to go for another gank. The Burrow Strike is there. They are dealing all the nukes out to slow the silence as well, but there's not enough mana for all this. They probably should have waited a bit longer for XD to be around in the Pudge before they engaged, but nevertheless, they'll lose that kill. But what I was trying to ask you, John, is the mid lane Skywrath, are you a big fan or not?
Honestly, not that big of a fan anymore. Most of his matchups don't really favor him that much. He has pretty decent presence in lane, but I don't know, it's just not so hot. It works out well as a support, especially if you pick something like an Axe to go along with it. You know, Call into Mystic Flare is a really stupid combo. Really brainless combo. That works out really well. As a core, I think it has issues. A lot of issues which aren't easy to fix, not like a lot of other cores. It's very hard to really make Skywrath tanky enough to last long enough in fights to really just spam a lot more spells than he usually does. Usually what you see a Sky do is cast one set of spells, maybe you know, one full set of all his spells, maybe a couple more extra casts of Concussive and Arcane, but usually he's dead after one full set. That just tends to be the case with Sky, and there's no real easy fix for that, because he has really atrocious strength gain, and next to no agi gain, so he has no armor. It's really hard to fix his issues.
Yeah, he's extremely squishy, to say the least. As you would be if you're a chicken man. You wouldn't be the tankiest person in the world. We still do have the Tinker disconnecting, so as annoying as it is, John, we're left waiting on the Tinker. But we will do so in a calm manner, so we don't screw up the replay. As tends to happen when you skip through the replay, for all those that weren't aware.
Yeah, definitely.
Even Rubik found that funny.
One issue I have right now with the laning phase is that they've left the Jug to 1v1 the Dark Willow. It's not working out in Jug's favor too well. I mean, he's 20-6. Dark Willow is 18-2. He's not too far behind in terms of farm. Maybe in experience, it definitely makes a big dent. Jug is halfway to 6. Dark Willow is somewhere about almost a quarter. 3/4 left to 6. Just about, maybe a bit more than that. But it's still not looking to be as good for the Jug as it should be. And I think that has a lot to do with trying to throw this tri-lane up top for a bit too long. Granted, the two sports do want some XP. Pudge and Sand King are very greedy sports in that sense. So they had to get XP somewhere, and if they had to soak somewhere, it would probably be best to soak a top. But now they definitely need to kind of slow down this Willow.
No, I'd have to agree with you, John, but if we look at the other other spectrum of the map, our Wind Ranger is farming even better than the Dark Willow, and she's also in the off lane. So overall, it does appear that both sides of the map are allowing the offlaners to farm, which I would have to agree is a completely massive mistake on both parts, both teams. But I mean, that's the way the game's going. Like, they're allowing both offlaners to just farm freely.
Yeah, it's rather curious. For the most part, you tend to see one team at least dedicate some resources to protecting their safe lane. Right now, it just seems like both teams are satisfied with kind of spreading around, getting some stacks up, and the Radiant side's a bit more active in that sense, that they are just camping the Tinker, trying to slow him down, which is probably the right play. You really want to slow down his travels as much as possible. If he gets a slow travels time, it means he's not going to have as much impact, he's not going to farm as much as he should be, and he's going to have a rougher time catching up. So as long as they keep this Tinker in check, I think it's all right.
Well, they are doing so. He's not actually able to get anywhere near that creep wave, although there are some supports coming in to help him out. Of course, he probably called out to his team that, he needs some damn help, because, like you said, the influence isn't going to be there from the Tinker if he doesn't hurry up with his BOTs. Generally speaking, you want to get them before the 15-minute mark, even earlier than that if possible. Top bot lane, though, Danny's actually in trouble right now. Yoku's making the chase with the Dark Willow. Terrorize will not be committed for this kill. There's really no point anyway. Once you terrorize, what the hell are you going to do with it? Probably nothing. Mid lane, we see...
not follow.
Yeah. DD is sticking around on that Sand King. He does want to have a go again onto the Tinker, but look at the supports come in. Now they lift him up into the tier 1 tower, and he's pretty much dead. Even Yoko comes in with that Dark Willow and finishes him off. And you can tell DD is not very happy about this. And he's got to be more wary of this, right? Like, they saw the supports around the mid lane helping the Tinker. I guess they assumed they had backed off because, you know, the supports... It does feel like they're wasting a lot of time staying in the mid lane, but they have no choice. They have to do this.
Yeah, definitely. It's it's the move they have to make. I mean, out of all the lanes you need to shut down, the Tinker's really key. I mean, even if the Void gets a decent timing on his Mask of Madness, maybe, he's still not going to be the main damage dealer in the Chrono early on. It's going to be people outside, and that's mainly going to be the Tinker. So as long as they really keep this guy in check, it should work in their favor.
Yeah.
And they're trying their best, but they haven't killed him in a while.
Looks like DD and Shark. Gonna walk past... DD and C, I should say. Walking past Shark with an Invis rune right now. This Rubik keeping tabs on where all the supports are of the Radiant End. Doing a great job of it as well. See Pelephant still farming decently, but this Wind Ranger still doing a great job herself. And at this point, I think Pelephant's just having a hell of a bad time trying to get any farm in this off lane. I mean, he doesn't have any supports around because they're helping the Tinker. And a Void against the Wind Ranger generally doesn't work too favorably for the Void. So, it looks like this Wind Ranger is actually going to be able to overtake in farm.
Yeah, it does look like that. She already has a 3 CS lead over the Void, and actually matches the Void almost in denies, so it's actually not that bad of a lane for Smiley Face here.
No, he's having a great time. Absolutely fantastic time for him. Shark will join back in the top lane, and I suppose they'll leave DD. No, in fact, they'll leave Kapu in the mid lane to help out the Tinker on the Undying, but there's a big difference between having the Rubik and Undying and only having the Undying in the mid lane. And, well, the Tinker... He's halfway to his BOT, so not the worst timing in the world, but he is somewhat exposed if they want to jump right now. Meanwhile, top lane looks like XD is in trouble as well. And he may end up dropping. Shackle goes in onto the Void, but they'll get the kill anyway. Kapu came in to finish that one off. And actually, Yoko finds Danny at the bot lane solo on the Dark Willow. That is really bad news for this Juggernaut.
Yeah, he's not been having a good time against this offlane either. It doesn't show in the CS, but he's not been able to hold his own as well.
Mind you, speaking of not being able to hold his own, John, LD in the mid lane takes out the Tinker again. He doesn't even have the Mystic Flare leveled up. He's actually just spamming the Arcane Bolts, and it just works effectively in conjunction with that Ancient Seal. There's just not much you can do. The Tinker can't really walk out of there, you know, safely, and the damage is just way too insane to deal with.
Yeah, it's really hard to deal with.
Top lane, actually. Pelephant. Going to be chased down. Should end up dropping, really, to the power shot if they can connect it, but they can't. Nice, I should say, time walk. I'm about to say void walk, but time walk to get himself out of that awkward position. Wind Ranger not happy about the fact that she caught the other end of that lift from the Rubik, but at the same time, she's doing such a great job at making sure that Pelephant can't farm. I personally wouldn't care if I was her teammates right now.
Yeah, I don't think it's too bad, although the Void is still getting a decent amount of gold. He's rotating into the jungle, nice and proper. Looks like he's going for Perseverance first, but not sure what he's going to build that up to. A lot of options available for him. The Battle Fury is there if he wants to go farming, which as position 1, I wouldn't really be too mad about. Maybe it's a fast Lincoln Sphere, which is also pretty helpful. But again,
Mid
remains
lane,
to be
John.
seen.
Shark about to go down, but he will actually get the punch kill in return. And now DD going to be in trouble. The Curse Crown was there. Karpu does come in as well with the decays. But all those arcane bolts going to be very frustrating for them to deal with, and they will just back off safely. So 1-for-1 trade. The position 5 going down to the position 4. It's not the worst deal in the world for the Dire. And in fact, they got the better exchange out of that anyway. Looks like Danny again as well. Going to be caught out somewhat. He does throw the spin. Terrorize will come out, so he can't Omni Slash quite yet. But here comes XD and C to try and help out. In fact, it was DD, my apologies. So many damn letters being used as names. It's a 2-for-1 trade. The Tinker actually ended up dropping in the mid lane, and now the Rubik will be the next target. Do they have the Chrono available? No, they do not. Pelican already committed that. Looks like Shark will end up dropping to LD, but will he be able to get away from Pelican? It doesn't look like it. Although Mystic Flare, look at this, John. He'll get the return kill.
Oh.
A very, very well-played counter from LD on the Skywrath Mage. And now the tier 1 bot tower ends up dropping as well. Danny takes that one for his team. We do see DD scouting out Karpu in the jungle. He will cancel the clarity as well as get the stun. And now with the epicenter, it's a lot of damage coming in. He will commit the shrine and the tombstone though, but the hook comes in. XD drags him out of that range. Where the hell did the dismember go? It was on a zombie, John. And now with that Brambles Maze coming out, it's going to be a hell of a time for the Radiant. Karpu is still low, but still not dead. He's trying to deny himself to the neutrals, but they're not hitting him. Hit the man. In fact, no, he's surviving through all this. Shark actually finds the kill onto XD. Now they're going to go onto Danny. Looks like Danny will end up dropping, and DD will be the next target. He's sandstorming through all this, but Darude can't save him. With those marches, he should end up dropping, and in fact, he's still alive. They have to drop the sentry for that, and they will do so. What a team fight we just saw. 3 go down for nothing. That is exceptionally bad news for the side of the Radiant.
Yeah, I feel like it's a really bad decision to fight Undying under Shrine.
Well, Peliphant manages to get the Void in the mid lane. Sorry, not Peliphant. LD manages to get Peliphant in the mid lane. So, well played to the Skywrath Mage for getting that. I would agree that previous fight was a bit strange to fight under a Shrine and the Tombstone, but they did do so. Danny now, Curse Crown, is stunned up. Shark is there with the double damage, and he has the Omni Slash actually on the Rubik. This could be a nice little play from him. He goes onto DD with the lift, ensures that they can't actually sandstorm up. And now, well, he's actually stolen the Rot rather than the hook, so that's not good news for him. But XD making the chase. He'll get XD as well. Double kill for this Rubik. Yoku. What's he going for here? He does have the Terrorize available as well. Karpu will find Danny. And with that, the Curse Crown is there. The rockets come flying in. He will have to spin out of this one. Brambles Maze was already placed. Spin actually stolen by Shark. Well, with that lift, the spin onto the Wind Ranger. She's in massive trouble right now. C ends up dropping, and here comes the Tinker to start dealing all this damage with the March and the Rockets. It's all going out. LD is around. The hook does not connect onto the Rubik. Meanwhile, Danny on the other end trying to get the Tinker. Can he find him, though? The laser is there just in time, and now the Decay Star coming out. Meanwhile, on the other side of the Tier 1 tower, XD goes down, and they're still trying to go for Danny. It looks like they will find him, and he goes down. 3 for the side of the Radiant are gone now. And the Dire, they're going to be able to push into Tier 1 from this. It's a nice play, although LD may have just got caught out as well. Shark, he will find him in this Rubik. My goodness, he's playing fantastic on that position 5 right now. He's just finding all these abilities, John.
He really is. He's stolen a really good number of them and really put it to work. The Blade Fury and the Omni Slash were really big steals, and it really paid off. He's going to have a good timing on his Blink as well, so it's going to be even more of a problem to have that Rubik run around. The Tinker's timing is also not too bad. He has his Travels up, going for his Blink not too far out now, and that's going to be an issue.
Oh yeah. Yes, yes it is. They've got to be able to catch up this Tinker with that boosted BOTs. Preferably before he gets the Blink, obviously, because you don't want to allow him to have that escape opportunity. Once he's got the Blink, though, it becomes really hard to be able to do anything against him. Well, it looks like C will just push the tier 1 top right now. DD is there as well as the Pudge. They are going to come for a gank attempt. Pelifin is coming in. He'll find XD first. The hook shot is onto the Dark Willow. Now Chrono is actually onto everyone, including his teammates. And well, he finally gets out. Luckily, the Tinker came in to help out, and they get XD. They get C as well. And with that, another 2 down for the side of the Radiant. We did not see DD even attempt to come in. I mean, he doesn't have a Blink Dagger anyway, so he was out of position completely. And they'll get a tier 1 top tower.
Yeah, I mean, that's the issue. As I mentioned, the damage isn't coming out from the Void in the Chronos right now. It's coming from the Tinker, and with his BOT's timing still being fairly okay, it's going to be hard to fight under that Chrono.
We did see DD trying to creep skip, and actually bot lane, LD ends up finding the Tinker. So a beautiful play from him to find that kill. Can they defend their tier 1 top tower? It doesn't really look like they can. Especially because the Dark Willow has found the Wind Ranger. Now the Brambles Maze as well as the Cursed Crown will stop him in his place. And with that, he will go down. The tier 1 was also gone as well. So C going to be very upset with himself over being caught out. But he was alone, so there was really no point in being in that position, I feel. It's like DD is playing around with it. Yeah, you were saying?
It was a bit pointless to be up at that top tower. They knew they weren't going to defend it. One thing I'm mildly curious about is the build on Juggernaut. He went for the Yasha first. He's working on a Battle Fury now. I'm not sure if this is worthwhile anymore. His time is going to be way off. The Void is pretty much there. He already has his Battle Fury and Void. If you're going to try to outfarm the Void with maybe a 5-minute later Battle Fury at best, it's not going to work out. I feel like at this point he should probably just work on to a Manta style. So he can purge off the blind at the very least and do a little more in team fights.
I would agree with you on that one. It's definitely questionable to go for the Battle Fury now, but I suppose, oh, actually mid lane, Yoko ends up dropping from XD. I was going to say, John, I suppose it's due to the fact that they left the Jug alone with the Dark Willow, and, you know, he was pretty much getting out-denied, and out-farmed. Perhaps slowing down his Battle Fury enough to the point where he rushes the Yasha first, but it's like you said, now it's like, what's the point of getting the Battle Fury? It's already getting pretty darn late as it stands. It's almost 20 minutes in. I suppose we're going to find out how it goes, at the least. Looks like bot lane, though. C is surrounded by a Tinker right now, and that is not great news for a Wind Ranger. He's going to cop a few rockets. Now the laser as well. He's almost down, but LD comes in. He wants to find this return kill, but the TP away. They can't cancel it. And they will not be able to find that Tinker kill. You would have really liked that, but what can you do? Now the Wind Ranger goes down again. The Tinker's back. LD trying to find the return, but here comes Shark, and he's stealing everything. Oh my. Shark is just playing a fantastic game right now. And I mean, with conjunction to that Tinker, it's just going to get even better. Meanwhile, top lane, Pelifin is being chased down by Danny. The Omni is available. But don't forget, oh, Chrono is committed, and now they're going to lose Danny as well on the Jug. Oh my. You have anything to say for yourself, Mr. John?
I mean, it's definitely worthwhile committing that Chrono. Take out the Jug. Jug, he was in the lead in that word for a while. It's just, he's not anymore. This Battle Fury is really hurting him, I feel. I'm sure you want to farm, you want to scale late, but this late, your Battle Fury being this delayed, you rush the Yasha first and then switch to Battle Fury. It's just a very odd decision to make, something I really don't agree with, and I'm not sure if it's justifiable at this tier to switch items like this midway. I mean, if you got the Yasha, you don't even need to go for the Manta style if you really don't want to. You could have gone for a Sanjin Yasha, very old school kind of Jug build, but it works out well enough that you'd be... I mean, they're pretty strong. Radiant's really strong right now. Granted, Dara is really strong as well with the lead they have, but Radiant's not too bad. Skyrath Mage does a lot of damage. Pudge is pretty potent. Wind Ranger is really good as well right now. They should try to be forcing something, finding some pickoffs, getting what they can while Chrono's down. Every time Chrono's expended, that's one less skill to worry about, and that's something they can really maximize. But it looks like they just sit back and farm their jungle when these ults are committed.
It's a bit of a strange thing to do. LD, one man that doesn't sit back and farm the jungle, he finds Yoko. Dire are going to continue pushing the mid lane, but they will be forced to back off. They are missing one of their heroes now. And, I mean, Chrono's almost up, but until it is, you can't really go for those big team fights. It looks like, though, Danny, what did he give away? He gave the spin to the Rubik. So Shark, again, going to have that magic immunity as well as the damage. Going to be very happy with that. So they are picking up the bot lane. The Dire are making their way to try and take down DD. And, I mean, he's got enough for a Blink Dagger right now, but he may lose it if he dies. DD going to get caught out. The lift actually falling back into the Sandstorm will cancel it. And now with all the damage they've got, they should be able to find him. He has a Burrow Strike. He does get out of there, and he buys the Blink while all that was going on. A nice play from him. He does waste a lot of time, and he still gets exactly what he needed. Mid lane, meanwhile, Karpu. He's going to get caught out by LD. The Mystic Flare is there, and it will find it. LD doing a lot of work, as you already mentioned. And now, who have they gone for? They've got the Pudge as a return kill. So, pos 4 for pos 4, essentially. Oh, not really. No, it was actually. Undying did go down. He was the pos 4, so never mind. They are going to push the mid lane. DD. Yep.
At this point, I'd say Undying's more pos 5. Rubik's really the one picking up the farm now, and even levels. Yeah. Even Rubik's picking up the levels and the farm, so I'd say Undying's been relegated to position 5, definitely. As a hero, he doesn't really require too much in farm anyway. He just wants XP. At this point, level 12, you're kind of okay. Max level in Tombstone, max level in Soul Rip, it's really potent in team fights. And it's a lot of sustain. You just don't have a spammable K, but he's dead again.
Well, not quite yet. Now he is, John. Although, it looks like they also find a return kill onto XD. So, a kill for a kill. Not the worst situation for either team. But it's going to make you really scared of LD. He actually went as well for the Shadow Blade. So he will be able to sneak up on people, use the Rod of Atos and Mystic Flare with the Ancient Seal. It's a lot of damage, as we've already seen. And, Undying's not one of those heroes that's very squishy either. It's got 1.5k HP right now. But that's just getting bursted to bits by LD on the Skywrath. This game is, still relatively even, right? Like, you've got these kills going the way of the Dire, but the net worth is only 3k their way. And now they jump onto the Void at the top lane. The Shackles doesn't connect, though. The Epicenter actually took down the creeps from the backlines, and that made it so they couldn't latch the Shackle. Now Shark again in the right position. He's going for C. The Chrono was committed. Can they find that with the Wind Run was used as well? They're wasting a lot of time to take this one out, but they will finally get it. Meanwhile, Danny actually found Yoko, but LD also went down somewhere across the map. And it was apparently from Yoko. So LD lost his life to Yoko. Danny gets the return onto LD. Onto Yoko, and then, well, we saw that last kill at the top lane.
Yeah, this is gonna get messy. Faceless Void has his Shadow Blade up, so he's going to be able to start these fights much easier. And I feel like this is when Dire really start to push, start to stick as 5 or even as just 2, and have Tinker TP in to follow up in the Chrono, and they could do a lot of work. They could maybe even wipe all 5 if they play right.
Well, they went for the Dagon build on the Tinker. I'm not 100% sure on that one.
I really don't like it. I'll have to be honest. I really don't like Dagon Tinker. Simply because it's fun. Yeah, sure. You burst someone down really fast, but you're really not going to scale. You become a gold sync where your entire focus is killing one person and then maybe surviving.
I do question it myself, but we'll see what the Tinker can do with it. You see mid lane, they are grouped up on the side of the Dire, but Pelephant will back off. He wants to farm the bot lane a bit. And he just got his Battle Fury and Shadow Blade up, so you can't really blame him for wanting to take advantage of those items and just farm rather than, you know, having to go for a team fight without Chrono. And so the Dire will back off safely. And we remain at the same net worth lead of 2k for the Dire. The kills are about the same. Of course, it is still very concerning that the Tinker went for the, you know, is getting so much farm, but with that Dagon, it may or may not work out. It depends how fast you can take advantage of it. And as it stands right now, he hasn't really used it too much. It looks like LD, bot lane, might be able to find this Rubik. Shark. Yeah, he's going to get caught out here. He does have the Yule Scepter. But with that Mystic Flare, it's going to be too much damage. And in fact, the Arcane Bolt will follow him down. And he's gone. He's going to try... Oh, he actually gets the deny. Pelephant. Can he find XD? There's another deny. So the Rot doing work for two people this game. And he even calls GG well played for it. Now they are going to go in for a team fight. Pelephant, he has the Chrono. He's baiting it out. Now he gets it onto two. Where's the follow-up? Here it comes from the Tinker. The Dagon. Danny's gone. Now Yoko looking for more, but they can't find it quite yet. And with that, the Juggernaut being dead, they should be able to find a tier 2 tower at the least, but it looks like they're going to go back to farming rather than going for that tower quite yet. And actually, the Shackle goes in. Terrorized, but the Mystic Flare, Pelephant's gone. LD again with that Mystic Flare perfectly on point, keeping them down. And so they lose their opportunity now to take a tier 2 tower at the bot lane. Although, to be fair, the creeps weren't really near the tower anyway for it to be taken, but I felt like they probably could have rushed to get that creep wave closer and maybe taken a tier 2.
Yeah, it was definitely an option, but something they didn't opt for. I feel like it's not the worst trade. You managed to take out the Jug, slow down his farm, which is really dangerous to have a Jug really farmed up in this game, so it's alright, and they might even find 2 more kills up here.
Yeah, I mean, LD getting a bit too far. The Dagon paying off for the Tinker. Now they're going to keep going. DD trying to get out of there, and it looks like he will be successful. But that Arcane Bolt actually giving them vision of the pathing. Yoko continues the chase with his team. He's so close yet so far. DD, Burrow striking away. Can he get out of this one? Shark making the chase as well. Couldn't find the lift. And now they may have overextended a bit, but no, in fact they haven't. The Radiant don't want to borrow this. Looks like XD might go for Pelephant. And actually Pelephant just goes for him. No Chrono available though, so he will just resort to the tier 2 tower instead. And meanwhile, the Tinker keeps them busy at the top lane with all these marches and the rocket spam.
Yeah, this game just, as it gets longer, it's just going to be harder and harder. Tinker the way he is, it just gets more annoying to push against. He's always going to be shoving you out. At the very least, he only has Dagon to follow upward. If he had something more annoying, you'd definitely be in much more trouble.
Well, they will find C. It looks like they committed the Chrono for that. They might go for this tier 2 bot lane. DD is there on the sidelines ready with the epicenter. But I have a feeling they're going to need a bit more than that to really take down this Dire side. Tinker, where the hell is he? He's back in the base right now. He's staying pretty far back. Here comes the epi, but where's the follow-up? He actually only gets the Undying. They're not going to mind this. They jump straight on DD. Now the Terrorize actually saving Karpu for the time being. Here comes Danny to try and help out. DD is getting very, very low, and the Bedlam should take him out, and it does with the Dagon. And Danny, lower than half HP right now. XD goes down as well. They're diving the damn base. And they might be able to find a tier 3 to be perfectly honest with you, John. I mean, there's nothing stopping them.
Yeah, it's a possibility now. Without the Pudge and the Epicenter from Sand King, it should be a fairly straightforward push.
Well, they do back off in the end. Honestly, I'm not sure whether it was worthwhile backing off. I felt like they probably could have stolen that tower. But they make that decision to back off safely rather than, you know, risking it. Although Shark may get caught out here. In fact, LD, who's he going for? He finds Karpu, he finds Yoko. And he's going to go for Yoko. The Ancient Seal, the Mystic Flare. Rod of Atos, of course, keeps him in place. What's our Rubik stolen? He got the Healing Ward this time around. You know, John,
That's
it really...
probably the best spell for Rubik to steal, really. If they want to push out, even in team fight, just having a healing ward of your own is really big.
I agree with you. I mean, that 5% max HP regen, pretty ridiculous. Especially if you micro it well in team fights. It's going to be very hard to deal with. And probably due to the fact as well that the Radiant aren't going to realize straight away that there's a healing ward on the opposite end of the map. That's keeping the enemy team up. I'm looking at Juggernaut as well. Danny, he's struggling a lot with farm right now. It's 32 minutes in. He's only got the Manta Battle Fury. He has not had a good time at all. And we commented on how the going for the Yasha first may have affected that. As it stands right now, John, I mean, he's going to have to take this pretty late to be able to be, you know, 6 slotted and ready to really fight.
I'll take that as tribute.
Yeah, he's definitely been slowed down. The weird thing is that it feels like he's underfarmed, but if you look at the net worth, he's actually just behind Tinker. Like, only Tinker's above him in net worth. He's actually more valuable than Void. It just doesn't feel like that.
That is quite strange, actually. That is very strange. But they do find a kill to XD. Oh, actually, Tinker might get caught out. LD! A very nice pick-off again from the Skywrath Mage himself. Roshan being taken by the side of the Dire. It's a slow process without, well, I was going to say without the Tinker, but he doesn't help too much. It's just a slow process overall. Tinker claiming this is 3k. So obviously, he's not very happy about this. We know very well, John, these are actually Divine plays, if I'm correct. They are going to come in. Oh, Mystic Flare again. They'll catch out Yoko.
Ooh.
And that was a rather
They
interesting...
didn't see the gem.
Oh,
They
there
didn't
is
see
a
the
gem. It is on the stairs, isn't it?
I can see it now.
Yeah. Even I missed it, to be perfectly honest with you, John. That damn sign was blocking the way. Not even sure what the sign's there for, but it was blocking the way, John.
I'll take your word for it, Mike.
Thank you, John.
Radiant's middle tower is under
So as it stands, 20 to 33, 34 minutes in, we still don't know who's really winning this game because the net worth has actually shifted towards the way of the Radiant now. So things are getting stranger and stranger this game. We do see a double damage rune at the top lane as well. LD is going to pick that up for himself on the Skywrath. That's a bit strange, but I guess he kind of right-clicks hard.
I think it's just for the bottle.
Really feels like you wouldn't have minded giving that to Danny and maybe going for maybe a
Absolutely.
smoke play or something.
Yeah, definitely. It's a rather odd decision, but you know how it is. Mid players like to have their bottle filled up regardless of the rune. They just want their regen. You know, so they take any rune and I guess it's not the worst, but really not ideal. One thing to note, Mike, Void has his Ag Scepter up. So we're gonna see a lot more Chronos coming out from the Dire's side, and they should be able to apply a lot more pressure than they have been the past few minutes.
Well, Palaphant has found C on the Wind Ranger. And this is the perfect time to show off that Aghanim Scepter Chrono. C, though, running through the trees. Where's the Chrono? Not out yet. He hasn't found him. Now he has.
Oh no.
Nice Shackle comes out, though. And that could be it. He's still going for this. Shark has actually found him, but the Lincoln's is broken. Now Chrono, where is it? He's not throwing it out yet. Now he probably should, and he will, but the rest of the Radiant are here to help out. And in fact, they don't even bother. The only one trying to is XD on the Pudge, and well, it didn't work out too well. Now the Epi comes in, DD, gonna try and make something happen, as well as the Omni Slash, dealing a hell of a lot of damage. They only get the Undying, though the Terrorize comes out, and now they should be able to take down Danny, and they do. The only one left is LD, and he might just lose his life here, and he does. A full team wipe, and it all started with this damn Wind Ranger. And he does buy back, but I don't think he can defend this on his own. And if he dies right now, this is going to be the end of the game. The tier 3 is copping a lot of damage. They should be able to find a Rax out of this, I think. And it looks like they will. It just felt like they just could not take anyone down on the side of the dive throughout that team fight.
Yeah, that's their issue. They went in almost 1 by 1, if you think about it. Mike Windranger got picked off first. Then you had Pudge and Juggernaut come in. And then you had, LD die at the side. And Sand King just jump in by himself with the epicenter. The coordination's just not there. Going in 1 by 1 like that did hurt their chances a fair bit.
Well, they're going to keep going for this tier 3 mid tower, and again, there's still no buyback available on the Jug or the Skywrath Mage, so a lot of damage can be done to this base. Oh, there is a blink in from Pelifin, and he finds 2 in the Chrono. Now with this, the Dagon, they're going to bring down DD, but a nice Shackle comes in from the Wind Ranger. It's just not enough. Now XD will be the next target, and again, no buybacks available on any of the Radiant side. They've just got to be so careful about how they approach this, because this could be mega creeps if they're not careful. In fact, no, it can't be. The tier 2 is still available on the bot lane. But 2 lanes of Rax, that never hurts. Unless you're on the opposing team, of course. Well, they will find it. Here comes Danny to try and take down the Tombstone, but Pelifin, he goes straight in. Now with Shark as well, they can lift him up, bring him down. The Shackle's connected on nobody, and he's gone. The Omni Slash was stolen by Shark, John, and he took him out.
Yeah, I mean, that's really unfortunate because that was Omni Slash from before he died. Which means he didn't get to cast anything else before dying. Which is really unfortunate. See, he was stunned up for a long time, so I guess that's understandable.
Well, look at LD. He'll find a double kill. Looks like, no, he dies to the Blade Mail!
That's the issue with Skywrath Mage, Mike. One of the things. It's the same thing with Tinker, really, almost. If you're facing off against Blade Mails, you don't really have a way of stopping yourself from killing yourself.
I mean, LD's got no buyback available. Pelifin's here again. They're going to go after XD. He's been lifted up, and well, there's not much he can do about this. He will end up dropping. And the T2 tower will be the target, and after that, I'm sure they'll just keep going for Megas. It looks like it may all be over for the side of the Dire. They should be able to close out this game at the very least and get these Mega Creeps, but now they're going for the mid lane. Now, I don't know about this. This is a bit of a waste of time, I think, for them. And yeah, they will switch their attention back to the bot lane. In fact, no, Pelifin is not going back there. And I got to be honest, Sean, I don't know why.
I'm not too sure either. Maybe they just want to be 5 again when they go fighting. Tinker's keeping that bot lane pushed in, though.
Well, he does pick up the MKB on the Void. And it looks like that's what he really wanted. Although that will give time for the side of the Radiant to be back up and ready to go. And this is the concern. You're right, you can throw games away like this. Pelifin, though, he doesn't believe so. He runs in with the Shadow Blade. He will go straight after DD. He doesn't want to commit the Chrono quite yet. Now Shackle does not connect. Nice hook coming in from the Rubik. Shark again. Now a hook coming in to save DD. The Rockets, though, Omni, where's it coming from? It is Danny in the backlines. He's got rid of the Tinker. And there's no buyback as well as the Void. Uh-oh. This is what I was talking about, John. They got to be careful now. They may be 2 Raxes ahead, but they could get Ancient. They could get their Ancient taken if they're not careful. Shark goes in with the hook. Now they want to go after this Jug. The Omni comes in. Danny in massive trouble. In fact, no, he's not. He gets the Undying, and they're going to go for more. The hook does not connect. XD wants to find something. Shark is playing with fire right now. LD gets Yoko as well, and Rubik's the only one left. Shark, he's stuck around for way too long. He's going to lose his life as well. And that's going to be a full team wipe coming out from the side of the Radiant.
Oof, that's really painful to see. I feel like Pelifin was a bit too impatient. He jumped in when the Tinker was not ready to commit just yet, which wasted their Chrono, which is really key to their team fights. Once that was down, once Pelifin was gone, it's very hard for Tinker to maintain himself in the center of the fight. I mean, he has his Sight of Vice, which is great, but, you know, they're going to focus him down if they're outside of Chrono, if there's no Chrono up. So it's hard for Tinker. He doesn't have any defensive items, which I feel like he could probably use at least one. Maybe not the BKB, but something like a Linken's would just be enough. Something to just block out that silence. I
mean, all the plays during that team fight was so strange, John. You know, I mentioned how they had time with no buybacks available on the Radiant to go for the final racks, but they didn't do so. They just wasted that opportunity, and now, although they are going to have plenty of time to, you know, defend and go back to it, they gave a lot of gold away, and now actually look at this LD. No, never mind. The Chrono is caught, and well, looks like LD will drop. C tries to come in, but the Terrorize is there. And now with that, Yoko will get started. XD running away, but the Cursed Crown is available. The Brambles Maze as well. They'll be able to find this Pudge. The Dagon, meanwhile, where the hell did that come from? Actually, XD is still surviving. Now the Epic coming in from the backlines. They're going to try and fight this one the best they can. The Radiant, now the BKB committed from the Juggernaut. The Omnislash bouncing around, but killing absolutely nobody. And now he's trapped up by himself. Danny, what the hell can he do? He's had the spin stolen from him, and he's going to get spun on. He's still trying to fight, but it's no good. He ends up going down. He still has no buyback available. And with that, this should be Megas, and perhaps, John, it may be the end of the game.
Does look like that way. No buyback in Juggernaut, no buyback in Skywrath Mage. The two supports do have buyback, but there's only so much you can do without your cores. Jug is really potent though, but still, it's a hard defense to call.
Well, they're going for more right now. They're trying to finish this off. C's in massive trouble. He gets lifted up with the Yules, and with that, it should be over. The Brambles Maze connects, and that's it. He's gone. No buyback. Actually, nice hook comes in from XD. He'll get the Undying. But again, it's a position 5 Undying at this point. He won't care about it. They forget about that last lane of racks. They'll go straight through the mid. And I'm pretty sure this is over, although Hook's stolen. Shark wants to play Hook Wars with the Pudge. Tier 4s are gone. They might be able to find this Rubik, although the Yules is there. Now the Chrono comes in. Pelephant can't find the kill. Oh, the hook back in! Oh. Shark now lifts him back out as well. And the hook! Oh, Shark, what a god! What a god, John. And he finds another one. My god, this man has to go fishing after this game. I'll tell you what. Pelephant alive through all this. There's the Hex as well. They'll find another DD. He's trying to back out of there, but it looks like they'll dive him. Oh, the hook again!
What? Did you see that, Mike, on the Sky? He lifted him up and then had the hook. It was a self-setup, man.
It was beautiful, John.
It was a rebound from yourself to yourself into the dunk. It doesn't make sense, but it works.
Oh, I'm sure it does, John. I mean, it was quite beautiful. John, that'll be it for us for today, unfortunately. We only got to do 3. And you know what? I blame the viewers for this. Why do they keep sending us long replays, John?
It's what the people want, Mike.
Yes. Yes, it is.
I'm sure the concept of democracy is foreign to you in Australia. But we proud people of Southeast Asia know very well how democracy works. Lots of money.
And on that note, John, on that note, that'll be the end of the stream today. We'll probably be back tomorrow to continue these pub replay casts. But thank you very much for handing them in. And yeah, we'll see you tomorrow.